And a very good evening. That is a historic whistle that you just heard, except, well, actually, it wasn't a historic whistle because they're going to do the face-off again. This is the first game ever at the newly refurbished Steve Ellison Field. It looks absolutely glorious under the lights, and the Varsity girls soccer team has their first-round NCS playoff here as they take on Anza. The Trojans come in as the 6th seed, Anza as the 11th seed. They will redo the opening face-off. Trojans in white, Anza in black. As the Trojans are looking to continue what has been an outstanding season so far with a very young team, and they are rewarded here with a home game at Ellison Field, the first time all season. It's been under construction all the way since the summer. They finally wrapped up pretty much the vast majority of it. We'll give you a little further survey of the entire grounds over the course of the game, but it is full enough to play a game on for the first time. History in the making on this Wednesday night. Hazel trying to get it forward for Melissa Rocha, a little bit too far, and it will head out. Actually, no, Rocha able to run it down. She's got great speed. Early chance here is sent through the goalpost. Trojans come in 14-5-2 on the season, 10-2-2 in league, and they finished third in SCL overall with a team consisting almost primarily of juniors and sophomores, just one senior on this team. But they have excelled, have really blossomed from last year, and had an outstanding season. But even though Anza's the 11 seed, they're going to have their hands full with the Dons, 12-6-1 overall. And 8-0, they won their league. It was not the greatest league out of Anza, out of El Sobrante in the Richmond, Antioch, Pittsburgh area in the East Bay. But obviously when you win your league, you've got some talent and you find a way to win. And that's something always to be afraid of in the NCS playoffs. One game to move on, keep your season going, keep the dreams alive for an NCS championship. And the loser, their season will come to a close. And the Trojans, obviously so much emotion on this night, getting to play on this new field. It is something really special. You can see the purple end zones. They look fantastic. Petaluma on that right side, Trojans on the left side. And with soccer moved to the winter, this was one of the big reasons that the artificial turf field was installed. It was deemed a necessity due to soccer in the winter and a non-artificial field. It rains. It was completely unplayable even into the spring for lacrosse last year. So that was I think the final deciding point for the administration here to decide to build an artificial turf field, and that is what they've done. Trojans in a good offensive attack here early. Starkey sends it in, and the save made by the keeper. An easy one for the Dons keeper in blue there, but a dangerous probing pass nonetheless, and the Trojans are certainly capitalizing on this early energy. Anza coming off an overtime victory against Richmond in their league tournament championship game on Saturday, so they come in on a big high. Starkey's going to force the first corner of the game. I'm sorry, that's Hernandez. Hey, guys. Hernandez with a nice probing move and a corner here for the Trojans to open this one. Scoreboard not in effect, so it's still a guessing game on on time left in this one, but two 40-minute halves for both. The varsity wrestling team and friends have made their way as it's sent in dangerously and wide. Varsity wrestling team has to be the biggest cheerleaders. The varsity girls soccer team, they're out. Gosh, I think every game I've been to, almost every game I've been to for this varsity girls soccer team, they're out in full force with their signs, with their voices, always making a lot of noise. Good to see. So Trojans get a second corner opportunity. That one a little bit too tall for everyone. It's a great opening couple minutes here. Tessa Lambert up there, one of the junior captains, has done a great job leadership-wise with his team. Trojans have such great depth up this roster, and they got so many players that returned from last year, a team that was even younger. It has really paid off for a player like a junior like Lambert, who's a captain and has done so well defensively with this team, which has been such a stalwart defensively throughout the year. That remarkable 0-0 draw at Annalee that we were at. And speaking of Annalee seated #1 in Division III NCS. In that certainly signifies that the Trojans, who lost one game 2-1 to Annalee, stay Trojan the ball there, lost 2-1 to Annalee in the first SCL game, but the Trojans really controlled that game for the first 70 minutes. And it was only 2 late Tiger goals that got them the victory there. And in the other game, up at Sebastopol, as you mentioned, a thrilling 0-0 draw. The teams are really very even there. Nice move by Lambert to get it forward. Now Buchanan. Back to Hernandez. Those are all juniors. So most of this team, almost all this team, will come back the same and get to play on this field for a full season next year in the winter. Artificial turf, completely playing it rain, snow, or shine. Head coach Deegan Babal has done a great job as well with these Trojans. But nonetheless, last few games here is first really chance at all for Anza into the Trojan end of the field. But good play by Lambert just to get it back to goalkeeper Clark Garcia. Trojans struggled a little bit the last few games. They lost to Sonoma Academy here, as that is a really dangerous pass. Lambert just gets it back to Garcia, who slots it forward. That is one player that the Trojans will not have on the team next year, as this one is dangerously sent in. Garcia can't hold on, and Anza has scored. Oh, my goodness. Well, you just put shots up on goal and you hope good things happen. That was everything you want in a shot there. It was just a probing pass, or a probing shot put up by Raquel Zales, the sophomore forward for the Dons. And Garcia's not the tallest player, and it just slipped right off her hands and in. And suddenly 1-0, just 5 minutes into this one. And the Trojans have completely controlled it. But counterattack is huge there. Got a couple numbers as the Trojans trying to answer. It's blocked. Monka with the shot there. I'm sorry, that was Hazel. Hazel's got it again, and didn't really connect well on that one. A good look right on that right corner. And Dons will get a goal kick, and seen it especially with Clark Garcia, and defensively, Trojans have suffered a little bit the last few games, and gave up 2 goals to Sonoma Academy in a tough 2-1 loss 2 weeks ago. Were unable to score against Annalee, but even gave up some goals against some teams that they beat soundly. Piner, Healdsburg, Sonoma Valley, they gave up 2 in a 2-2 draw. There have been some holes that have been exposed after they were so dominant for the first half of SCL. They did not allow any goals for half of the SCL season after that first Annalee game, all the way to the game after the second Tigers affair. Another probing move. What a great play. Still going. Trojans just need to clear it here, and they finally force it out. A corner. That was Michaela Matthews, one of the 2 captains, on Anza, a junior with a nice move. Not a lot of seniors on Anza either, just about 6, and they got a fair amount of underclassmen on their team, so they don't have the most experience either, but we talked about they've won their league. They are on a winning streak. They are coming in confident. They have showed it. It could be an effective strategy to stick back defensively, counterattack when the moment's right. Sent in! And not a bad corner at all. It will be Trojan ball here. And one factor that's also going to be big, and you saw it a little bit as that corner really spiraled away, is the wind, which is pretty heavy right now, consistently about 10 miles per hour, gusts up to 15 to 20. It's been pretty windy here the last couple days, so that absolutely can affect things, especially on long passes, shots, curves. It might have affected that first goal for Anza. That is last off Rocha. Anza ball. 8 minutes into this one, and the Dons lead 1-0. Courtesy of a lob over Clara Garcia that she could not handle. Garcia had such a good game in that Annalee 0-0 draw. She's playing so well. It seemed like she got a little fame because of that. She don't know if it got to her head a little bit or what, but she's just struggled a little bit lately. Deflects off a Dawn there. Trojan ball. Trojans trying to open up this brand new field right. Barrett forward, no one there. Oh, bad bounce for the Dons, and Rocha almost could have gotten a good look. Melissa Rocha has such great speed for the Trojans, and she can be such a threat for them. It has really helped them in the offensive zone. Teams really try to clamp down on her, double team her on that right flank, but she'll get free a couple times. Scored in that Sonoma really should have scored twice in that game against Sonoma Academy. Scored the opening goal and then had what looked like would give them the retake the lead, but hit off the inside of the post, and the refs incorrectly did not give them the goal. That was a tough break. Last off the Trojans, it's Anza ball. 1-0. Anza out of El Sobrante, the 11th seed. Petaluma seeded 6, but Annalise the 1 seed. They played with the Tigers. The Trojans aren't looking at an NCS championship or anything like that, especially trailing, but there's no doubt about it, I think they can beat every single team in the NCS playoffs. They have a shot, but every single game is going to be tough. There's a lot of parity, especially in the division. There aren't a lot of top teams. Montgomery and Maria Carrillo are really the 2 top Varsity girls soccer programs, I'd say, in NCS have both moved into Division 2 out of Division 3. So it's allowed for more parity, but there's a lot of depth up and down the lineup. We already in an upset earlier today with Ignacio Valley knocking off Terra Linda, the 5 seed, a team that the Trojans actually played and lost to. Blew a lead in that one, 2-1 in the non-conference. And in the other early game today, Sonoma Valley was in the Trojans League. Trojans won in overtime beat them in overtime in their first game, 1-0, and then drew with them 2-2 in their next game, as that passes a little bit too far for Rocha to deflect. Yes, it did. State Trojan ball. And Sonoma Valley was blown out to Drake. Sonoma Valley was seeded 13th in that one and blown out to Drake to end their hopes. Drake will play Ignacio Valley in the quarterfinals. That's in the upper half of the bracket, Annalise side of the bracket. Hernandez trying to get something going forward. Knocked out. Good play by Frothinger. Amanda Rocha in there as well. Yes, twin sisters with Amanda and Melissa Rocha. Both have been key pieces to the Trojans' success this year. Amanda defensively, Melissa offensively. Oh, wonderful move by Hazel in a last-ditch defensive play. That might have saved a goal there by the Dawn defender. And then, I believe that was Guggenhauer that tried to give it a go. It was, but a little bit high, and that one is going to go all the way back to the baseball field. See, the Trojans came out, aggressiveness, high mentality, they were pumped up, but suddenly a goal, and you can see that drop their spirits. They could not imagine having a loss to open up this new field and everything that it means, that they deserve this spot and get it. Anza sort of just sent it in back and hoped for mistakes, and they did get one. Nonetheless, Tessa Barrett's not going to make a whole lot of mistakes. Junior captain for the Trojans back there, but there are some other areas of the defense that have been more susceptible, including Clara Garcia. Dawn's maybe watch some film. Hernandez ahead. Delaney Johnson, who's been dealing with some injury problems, but has been really helpful. You can see so skilled with the ball there. Gets it to Hazel. And one big factor that I think has hurt the Trojans fully is the injury to Kendra Berry as Rocha tried to force it to Johnson. Too much traffic just cleared. Kendra Berry was the really main team captain, main leader for the Trojans, on and off the field, the midfielder, and their leading scorer, as Guggenhauer didn't get a lot on her right foot. Easy save made. And with Kendra Berry out still with her injury and not sure if she could potentially make it back. She was hurt in that Annalie 0-0 loss. She was hurt once initially, kept on playing, and then hurt so badly the second time hurt her right leg she could not even walk. Had to be carried off the field. And was in tears after that, so she's been working through that. Really wants to play, but so far hasn't been able to provide that key leadership on the field and that key goal scoring, as she was by far the top goal scorer on the Trojans. Someone that could always create, have a spark. The Trojans don't have her. They're having to find sparks otherwise, and they put a lot of focus on Melissa Roach, number 8. De Anza's ball control's been about non-existent, yet they lead 1-0. That was a nice creative touch pass, but a little bit too far there. Mentioned Trojans will not have Clara Garcia next year. She's a transfer student, or foreign exchange student, out of Spain. So, just 1 year here at PHS. She's really done well for the Trojans, especially first half of the year. And that Annalie game probably saved them as they get it ahead to Rocha. Oh, what a save! Wonderful save, sprawling on the ground. The De Anza keeper is still down. I'm not sure. She might have taken that right off the face. What an effort, though. Rocha with a great look, and you're seeing how the Trojans are going to her. She uses that speed to get past everybody, but Gladys Mendoza, the senior goalkeeper, makes the save. Corner here, though, for the Trojans. Already had 2. Loose! And Mendoza has gotten to it. Oh, boy, she's poised in goal. She's ready for this NCS playoff game. Wow. Well, there was just traffic there, and that often can lead to the ball ending up in the back of the net, ping-ponging, but she got to it in time. The Trojans are going to need quality shots to beat her. There's no doubt about that. Well, it certainly feels like they should get a lot of chances the way they're dominating ball control. I'd say it's about 90% to 10%. Completely in control. But De Anza's been very creative and aggressive when they've gotten the ball, taking their shots, and it works so far. Try to get it into Starkey. Just cleared right back out. That's De Anza's whole strategy, but it's worked for the Dons this year. What a successful season they have had. Trent's trying to stay patient here. Find a seam in this maze of black jerseys. Good battle by Hazel. Guggenhauer scores! Oh, Francis Guggenhauer, it's a wonder goal! And we are tied at 1. Oh, that was beautiful from Guggenhauer in the right foot. She missed a couple earlier. Not her best efforts. There she got it just outside the box, and she blasted it a curling spiral. Mendoza's been brilliant, but that one, she had no chance to save. Absolutely perfection, and we are tied at 1-1. Herman and Maka will answer to lots of cheers from the student section. But more importantly, the Trojans have tied this game up at 1. There's the answer. James Quijano, head coach for the Dons, had a game plan, but if the Trojans can keep up the possession to this level, I'm not sure it's going to work. You can see De Anza just rushing it a little bit. Very forced there. Garcia's not going to drop that one. And can the Trojans continue to use this momentum? 90% possession, and you're going to get some more chances. That was the shot you wanted. Guggenhauer, such a good player and leader. Hasn't scored a lot, but you knew she had the capability. Rocha, it's a tough angle. Set across. Oh, a good decision from Rocha. She was looking for the tall freshman Liz Monka, maybe for a header to finish it away. Guggenhauer's trying one more time. Off the post. Oh, Guggenhauer's feeling it. It's going to go out of bounds. Trojan ball. What a shot from Guggenhauer. She was well outside the box that time and still had the inspiration. And nearly slotted up over Mendoza. Hazel's going to give it a go. It's off the crossbar of the goalpost. That doesn't count for anything. 18 minutes gone here in this first half of 40 minutes of action. And it has certainly been exciting up and down so far. Neither of these teams have been tentative, that's for certain. Both very aggressive. This resulted in goals on both sides. Trojans look like the more talented team here tonight. There's a reason they're 6th and Dion's is 11th, but they have to execute and use it right, and there's no doubt the Dons have a fighting spirit and an ability to finish. Monka, who we mentioned, she's only a freshman, but boy, she doesn't play like it. She's such an outstanding player out on the pitch. They have Trojans still almost half their team is underclassmen, the other half are juniors. And Trojan ball. These underclassmen, though, most of them have not been afraid this year. And yes, there's been a couple growing pains at points that you expect, but they play so aggressively, so physically, and they're on a varsity stage at an age very young for most teams, but they're not afraid. Anza trying to get it forward, but a great job of the Trojan defense to not let Anza any chance. Now it sits down to the Dons again. I don't know what she was trying there, but she somehow won it. And then a hard play by Barrett to get it for her. That's fired up the student section. Mostly composed of wrestlers who appreciate a good takedown. And then sent in. I don't think Clara Garcia trusts herself right now. She looked more tentative than a deer stuck on the headlights on that one, but was able to hold on to it. Just a little bit of confidence they need back from their goalkeeper. Proven she can be so skilled from Spain. They teach soccer a little differently there, and they, especially on the men's side, they're pretty good. 2012 World Cup champions in the men's side. That one is wide. But finally, Anza developing something here. That was Michaela Matthews, the junior forward, with a good look. Deegan Babala saying, take better care of the ball. Trojans have done a pretty good job of that, but you know Anza's gonna have to find a surge to try to get some possession. That one sent a little bit too far for Hazel, and it will be Dawn's ball. 20 minutes into this one, we are tied at 1 here in the first round of the NCS playoffs. The winner will move on to face the winner of the 3rd seed Kennedy and the 14th seed Albany. Kennedy out of Hayward or Fremont, so could be a long drive on Saturday. Whoever wins this one. Good deflection. Rocha's broken free. Oh, she decides to pass it up, and the save is made. Oh, it was Monka on the other end. Oh, you wonder if Rocha was a little bit too unselfish there. Really was not a bad angle at all. She had a good look at it. Had 2 Trojan players on the left side there of the box. Decided to pass it up, but Mendoza was ready there. That can be hard for a goalkeeper. Trojans have answered the call here on this new field. Gave up a tough first goal in the first 5 minutes, but they absolutely want to bring out this beautiful opening of newly remodeled Steve Ellison Field. It's taken nearly 6 months for this moment to have a game on this sparkling new artificial turf, and I know it feels sweet under the players' feet and for everyone in the stands here just to be here tonight.
Come on, you guys.
It's really, I think, something the team talked about that they really earned. They played so well, so hard, that they could just get at least one game here on their home turf. Oh, Hazel was looking to possibly just give Mendoza a test, and she almost barely got a piece of that. It deflected. Will be... Great job there by Barrett to stop any... Lambert, excuse me. To stop any chance of a Anza attack. They really were outnumbered there. There were 6 Trojan defenders back. You had 2 Anza offense, and that's going to hard to work around, especially with some of the skill of those Trojan defenders. Gogenhauer with the 1 goal for the Trojans, trying to get it to Rocha, who, boy, has she been active down the right wing. I don't know what the Dons are going to try to do here to get some ball control, because they're just not going to win this game if they can't control the ball a little better. Excuse me, with the camera's just gotten a little loose. That was a brief chance there. The Trojans quickly finish it off. Oh! Maka! Oh, it went wide! Oh my goodness! What a wonderful pass to Melissa Rocha. And Rocha had it on her right foot. She had the keeper on the ground. She went right instead of left, and it went wide. She realized it as soon as it went off her foot, but she couldn't get to it in time. Anza was able to force it out. Corner kick. Oh my goodness. What some chances so far for Rocha. Still somehow does not have a goal on this one, but boy, no one on the Dons has so far been able to keep up at all or have the speed. The Trojans, you can see Principal David Sturrett in your picture as this corner is sent in. Monka got a piece of it. Mendoza couldn't hold on. It's still loose. It's pinballing and it's cleared. That was an adventure. Trojans might get an opportunity for another one. Guggenhauer off that side of the post, and it's in. Francis Guggenhauer is a magician. It's 2-1 in the 23rd minute. Unbelievable from Guggenhauer. How she got that one around defenders and offenders and Mendoza, I don't know, but right off the inside of the post, it took the good bounce for the Trojans, who had the rough bounce earlier in the opening goal. And Guggenhauer is all smiles right now, as she should. She has really almost single-handedly put the Trojans up 2-1 here. So we are over halfway through this first half. They have turned it around after the opening goal, and this is the offense you want to see so far. They have been aggressive, they've been physical, and I mean they are not turning the ball over almost at all. They have a complete possession, and really any chances for Anza. Anza just does not have a touch at all. It's been surprising, their lack of ball control. Hernandez, back to the girl of the hour, Guggenhauer. Now it's the speedy Liz Monka. Monka crosses it. And cleared by the Dons. You've got to hold on to that if you're Anza. Just get some breathing time for your defense and Mendoza the keeper, because it is so stressful to be under a constant attack, but the Trojans are not letting the Dons even hold on to this soccer ball. It's been unbelievable so far, this ball possession. Certainly been the best I've seen it, but the 5 games I've been out to. You can check out all of our Varsity Girls soccer coverage on our YouTube channel, including all our interviews, full games, highlights, analysis, and play-by-play of all their big games all season long. We'll certainly be continuing to cover their NCS run. No promises if we'll make it out to any road games, but certainly if they're at home, we'll try to make it out. The higher seed will have the home game all the way till the championship game, which is normally played in a neutral site. NCS will make that decision. Clara Garcia just able to clear that. It was a good run nonetheless by Anza to get something there. Herman's got it centered. She's got Melissa Rocha working through 3 defenders. She is shoved and there's no call. Oh! And Herman's broken free! Slotted it wide, though. Well, Rocha was surrounded by Dons. They knew they could not let her get any room, and it left Herman with some room. She gave it a go. Could not finish. Mentioned Anza won their league 8-0. They had non-league victories against Sweet Kennedy, losses to Mount Diablo, Deer Valley. And then in league, they have Kennedy from Richmond. No, that's not the 3-seed Kennedy. It's the other Kennedy that they defeated. They defeated Richmond 2-1 in their league championship game. As Guggenhauer gets it forward, Rocha! Oh, it's off the post! You have to be kidding me! She can't just buy one right now. She had Mendoza beat. She put nasty spin on it. It was nastier than David Beckham's shot, but there was too much spin, and it collided off the post. Oh, just a tiny bit less, and she would have slotted away, and the Trojans would have taken a comfy 3-1 lead. Unbelievable. This has certainly been full of excitement so far. Anza with a run down the wing. Great job by Zoe Frothinger to steal it away. No breathing time for the Dons. Constant pressure, constant duress. Here we go again. Rocha time 2 million, but she can't get to that one. Alondra Hernandez, a junior, stalwart at that center mid. Might not get the most stardom, but so important there as Monka just wide. Oh, it was a tough angle for Liz Monka. I don't think Mendoza did not get a piece of that. And the Trojans continuing to push to try to get some more security up and go 3-1 up here as we are 28 minutes gone. Anza has not lost since January 13th against Pittsburgh. Did have a 0-0 draw against Pinole Valley. That is about it. Deflects there and will just fall innocently to Mendoza. You would have thought Anza looked confident with that first goal, maybe 10 minutes, but after that they've really looked tentative offensively, and they've looked just exhausted defensively, though that's completely warranted considering how much attack they've been up. But you expect some more fight from them. They're a winning team. Can't go undefeated out with your league, something the Trojans were certainly not able to do without being outstanding, and obviously Trojans had to go the likes against a really improved Sonoma Academy team. The stardom that is Annalie. What a move by Lauren Hazel. And she's got Rocha again. Just too far there. You don't get too far from Melissa Rocha a lot. Just couldn't get to her. Seems like Melissa Rocha has to have a goal by the end of the night, or it'd be a crime. Maybe the weakness, I think, for Anza is that their schedule has been so weak. The best team on their schedule, I would say, is Alhambra and Martinez, and they got destroyed by Alhambra, 7-1. So they're not used, I think, to this level because they play in a weak league. That was an innocent shot put up there. For goal kick. And this amount of pressure, amount of attack, amount of physicality that the Trojans play with is something I don't think the Dons maybe were completely ready for, and especially offensively, they have shown that they can't hold on to anything, get any rhythm going at all. Wonderfully controlled by Guggenhauer. She's been unbelievable tonight in another zone. Never know who's going to step up, and boy, has Guggenhauer stepped up big time. They really need someone. With mentioned Barry not out there, and you know Rocha's going to deliver. Monka's going to provide some sparks of brilliance. Both really Rocha sisters will provide some good sparks, and Hazel as well is a strong leader out there. Lambert on the back end. But Guggenhauer has been the one to step up. Was a player that was on Varsity last year and helped get that experience, and that's been big for her. 30 minutes gone. 10 more minutes left in this first half. Trojans leading 2-1. The soccer ball is headed into the bushes, and it's trying to escape. Can see this beautiful new track. It wasn't just the field. They completely tore out the track, repainted it, refurbished it. I haven't got a chance to walk on it just yet, but I assume it is deliciously springy, as new tracks are. And certainly the old one was starting to get a little depleted, and I know the track team's already been practicing on it. They're really excited about it. That one deflects and again falls to Mendoza. She must be exhausted already tonight with her amount of work. A little over-aggressive there, and now some numbers for the Dons. And easily intercepted by Lambert. Anza gets a steal, but then they're just passing it into all sorts of traffic. I say kick it back, get it to your defense, pass it around a little bit. Take some time to take a breather. Now a chance here, and just a little bit too far. But a great steal there by Raquel Zalas, the sophomore forward who has the goal tonight. And Nadia Maldonado was the girl who almost got on the end of it. And now Maldonado will kick the corner. Here on this right side, you can see the discus setup behind her, just built. A little bit too far. Great job by Lambert to head it away. And stolen away almost. And that's set back all the way in. Offsides was the call on Sofia Zertucci, the senior defender who was playing up. Monka sends it back to Starkey. Rocha. To her twin sister. And you know that's a fun dynamic. Probably many afternoons and nights and practices in the backyard, on the field. And you can have a connection especially when you're twins and you have an eternal connection. You're always gonna be connected to each other. Not identical twins, they look very different, and I think they act pretty different too. Melissa a lot more introverted. Another chance for Melissa. Off the post, rebound, score! 3-1. Liz Monka, the freshman, has scored. Rocha can't buy one, but she's been so unselfish all night. And Monka has gotten the security for the Trojans. I'm sorry, it was Herman. Herman that slotted away to get the security. 3-1, the junior on the end of it. Both Monka and Herman have had some good-looking opportunities. Rocha always has tough angles because of her runs down the right there, and had another tough angle, but the good bounce off the post, and Herman, who's another captain on the team, stayed poised and easily slotting it away. And now the Trojans really in control of this one with a little bit of security. 3-1. Rocha's now gotten free. She's so much speedier than everyone else, but she just couldn't hold on to that one. Boy, the Trojans played well offensively so far tonight, though. Trojan bench blocking a little bit of the action here. Hernandez. Does Anza have an answer? They've been under a barrage. Starkey has to battle hard for this one. Falls to the ground. And it will be Trojan ball. They called a foul. Great hustle by Starkey to get there. And nothing's easy out there in the NCS playoffs. And you have to keep your head up. You never know what's going to happen. Guggenauer forward to Crysdale, who just entered, the sophomore. Wonderful play by Crysdale to get the steal. Melissa Rocha feels like she's had a ball on her foot more than Anza. Deflects. Offsides is the ruling on Monka, who got an opportunity there, but unable to finish. Just was a little bit too far behind the defense. And the refs with their flag up. I wonder if Dons have to have some adjustments to stop Rocha getting the soccer ball. I mean, she's just the creator, doing everything and helping everyone else scoring. And she's been unable to do it, but she hasn't been frustrated and allowed other people to get involved. Hernandez. Crysdale. A little bit off balance, couldn't get a lot, but the Trojans are just firing at will right now. They've gotten some good deflections, some good opportunities. And they already have 3 goals here. So we have about 5 minutes left in this first half. What a first half it has been. Anza looking exhausted out there right now. They have just been under so much tension and seemingly constant pressure by the Trojans. And not used to this intensity if you don't play that hard schedule. That's could really make it hard. And sometimes the NCS committee doesn't always take that into account maybe as much as they should, especially for the Trojans, who have really played a pretty strong schedule. SCO really had 4 strong teams, I think, in it, with the 2 Sonoma schools and Annalee as well, along with the Trojans. It's weaker on the back end with Piner and Healdsburg, Elsie, and Elmo, but absolutely a challenge at least every other night for them. And they have been more than ready for Anza. Certainly has been plenty of excitement on this opening night for Ellison Field. I wonder if the Trojans are firing a little bit too much. That one was... It was Goggenauer, so did score a second one from nearly out there, but couldn't get a lot on it. And there is the halftime whistle. The Trojans with an offensively brilliant first half. They completely control play, and they lead 3-1, courtesy of 2 Goggenauer goals. Herman with the other one. I think we might have some halftime interviews coming up next. All right, we are standing here on this brand new Steve Ellison Field. All 3 of you that I'm here are also football players. So what is this feeling to be standing on this wonderful new purple field?
It's beautiful.
It's magnificent. We are going to do that. I'm going to make Social do that for us.
No,
sounds good.
but do you see the purple? Like, look at this.
Yeah.
Like the core.
Do you see
the purple?
Do you see the purple end zone here?
Yeah, it's spectacular, isn't it?
Oh, that is the understatement of a year. Let me see this real quick.
Like,
All right, no, hey, stop.
sorry.
Let's interview you, Griff.
Yeah.
What do you feel? Hey, stop. What do you feel about the new field and what it can bring to the promising sports future at Petaluma High School?
I really think it can bring a lot. I mean, it looks so amazing. We've got the great logo in the middle of the field. I think the purple end zones really top everything off. But the huge thing is allowing it to make it artificial turf. It really helps with soccer. I mentioned this on the broadcast for the winter that they can now play her full time.
That's facts.
Same with lacrosse in the spring. Don't have to worry about the rain. Don't have to worry about bad conditions.
It's
really
do I do
amazing.
with my hands by my side, or what do I do? What do I do with my hands
You
right now?
just got to
I don't
act
know.
casual, all right?
What do I do?
You doing the, I don't know
How
what
are you
you're
liking
doing.
the new track? You
That-
do track as well,
I do
right?
not do track.
You do cross country.
I do.
Do you guys practice on the track?
I do a little, yeah.
Okay, well,
I'm looking forward to
it's
the new
better
track.
than it was,
It's
you know what I'm
it's
saying?
a lot better than
No, have you felt the squishiness and the compact of just all the minerals and compact and ionic bonds that bonded together to make this track beautiful? What do you? Oh no, I'm not done with my interview. What do you feel about this? Hey, Gary, you want to join this interview?
I don't think
All right, you know what? Trojan Live.
I got a quick more. How about that first half though? For soccer, 3-1, lots of scoring,
amazing.
Including Hannah had a goal there
Hannah
late.
Herman,
What are your thoughts on that?
Hannah Herman MVP. Whoever number. Oh, Melissa Roca. She's fast. Rocha.
She
She's
is
fast.
lightning,
She is
lightning quick,
very
like a
fast.
cheetah, okay? If she raced me from here to there, she would lap me twice.
How have the Trojans though been so effective offensively here in the first
Because-
half?
no, pass
because
ball.
the key with our cheering, is
Hannah Herman?
Stop. We mentally break them. We do the mentally breaking down. They do the physically breaking down. And you know that one? No, it's the 1-2 punch that kills the game. It's killing the game out here,
You
Griff.
have to
We're
mentally
getting our
break
two.
their
We're getting our 2 takedowns. We're spinning around.
See?
You ready for the second half to close them out for victory?
You ready for the second half?
Sometimes we're
Well, we're going to be at the Varsity Wrestling SCL Championships on Saturday morning. All that coverage on our YouTube
Healdsburg
channel
High School.
as well up at Healdsburg High. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much.
Griffin,
know what?
have a nice night.
Thank you.
Thank
Hey,
you.
and this is Daniel Carley.
Here every night. Thank you.
Love it.
We dropping.
Have fun. They're all playing soccer behind me and having a lot of fun. But it is really special to be out on this field. As they said, it feels good. It's made with that cork. It does have a lot of stuff that springs up. So I don't know if they're going to clean that up. But nonetheless, it is really spectacular. It is absolutely enjoyable to play on. It really springs and it feels like that natural turf without being it, and allows it full time. And they've also added so many amenities around. They're not completely done behind me with the home stands, so no one is sitting in the home stands yet, but they're having a new snack shack, a new bathrooms, new ticket stand as well on that. That's going to be done, I think, by mid-March, potentially for track meets and lacrosse as well, so that should be really cool. to see, but it's 80% there, including the field, which is spectacular. It's going to be amazing for football next year. Absolutely, really looking forward to it. It's great for track and all those amenities as well. What a first half to open it up for the Varsity Girls soccer team. Could have been more excited. They were pushing remarkably. Great communication, great aggressiveness, and they just looked. De Anza didn't look ready for them, especially offensively. De Anza cannot control the ball. The Trojans are so aggressive on a De Anza team that hasn't faced an attack like this, and it's allowing the Trojans to be completely dominant in that first half. Comfortably up 3-1. You know De Anza is going to make some adjustments. Rocha has been unstoppable so far, so we'll see what the Dons can do to maybe make some adjustments, slow down Rocha, slow down the offense, and maybe they control a little bit of possession to give them some chances because they really haven't had much, just a counterattack and a quick opening goal. But since then, it's been all Trojans. Second half is coming up next, and don't miss interviews afterwards. Now we're standing on the beautiful track with another Petaluma High student. What's your name and your grade?
My name is Bosberger. I'm a freshman. I'm in 9th grade. I just want to say I'm a big fan of your work.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so yeah.
And what are your thoughts on this amazing new field, new track, new facilities that you'll be able to have for 4 years as a freshman?
That's amazing, you know. Honestly, I remember coming here in 8th grade from the junior high, and the field is already nice, but now that I see all this new paint, it just really, makes me feel good that I'm at, Petaluma High. It looks amazing out here. I mean, anybody who comes here is going to know that, the Trojans are the best, and their field is too. I mean, this looks, almost as good as me, you know.
How does you think it enhances the community for big sporting events to have facilities like this, especially the stuff around the field that they've improved as well?
I think visuals do a lot of work for not only the players but also the fans coming to watch, because the better your field looks, I mean, it just feels more at home, and now that our home's a little cleaned up, you know, it's just going to feel good for everybody.
Of the second half, we are underway. 40 more minutes of soccer in this NCS first round game. Trojans are trying to move on to the quarterfinals for the first time in a long time. It would be. First time in a long time with a full field, that would be. They made officially the NCS quarterfinals last year, but they played in the fall. Almost all the teams played in the winter last year, with the exception of SCL and only smaller schools. So it was not a normal full strength field. And quickly the Trojans take control of the ball. It's certainly not what you want to see for the Dons and their confidence level. See if the Dons have some adjustment, some idea, some creativity, some way to hold on to the football. There's a good run forward. Great defense, though, by Muganum just to force it out. Corner kick nonetheless, but she stayed cool and confident back there. Nadia Maldonano's been the main girl. That's gone something for De Anza. Produced the goal. And has some speed to get past the Trojan defense when there's not a lot of speed on De Anza. Dangerous corner was low, and Monka just boots it away. They'll get another corner. De Anza, as mentioned, 12-6-1 overall, 8-0. They won their league, but it was a weak league. And Max Preps does rank them 694 in the state, but they got an 11 seed. Hit that one. And out on the Dons. Well, that hurts you. It feels like you're going to have limited opportunities if you're De Anza to score here, and they've got to take advantage of every chance they can get. There is Kendra Berry, who we mentioned, the captain, number 23, still in a jacket as the Trojans have just gotten it out while we're away, and standing down to head coach Tika Babala. And Berry's still out with an injury, but she can still provide leadership from an off-the-field role. Trojan ball here, and they'll get a throw-in with Rocha. Winner moves on to face the winner of Kennedy and Albany in the quarterfinals. Just cleared back out. I don't know if De Anza is going to be able to survive that way. They need 2 goals. The Trojans can... Oh! Getting it ahead faster than the camera! It's going to get our rebound! It's a goal! It's Lauren Hazel, and it is 4-1. Oh, the Trojans rapidly kicked that free kick before I think anyone was ready, including myself. Guggenhauer had a great first look. Good save by Mendoza, but they get another good bounce. It falls to Hazel, who had a good look earlier. She gets some redemption after we already saw Guggenhauer and Herman do it, and makes it 4-1. No chance for Mendoza. Top corner. And they feel like they are in complete control of this one now. It's a long road back for the Dons. Remarkable effort here by the Trojans. Gave up their first goal, but since then it has been pure domination in all facets of the game. And they're continuing to push. Dons going to have to play for some pride here. They've had a successful season. Still pretty young. Plenty of things to work on. Trojans can also possibly get some looks to some players. They had 5 players called up from JV who ended their season last week, who, similar to other sports such as football and baseball, get the call up for the postseason. Mostly you don't get too much playing time, but it's really just to get that experience of that high level, and you'll get to be there next year. Trojan ball. The Trojans can close this out tonight and then win in their quarterfinal game, projected to face the 2-seed Campolindo. They're facing San Rafael tonight. The other teams in that quarter are Miramonte and Alhambra, who we mentioned killed Anza when they played. And yet, they were only seeded 1 seed above their Alhambra was only seeded 1 over Anza, so that was an interesting decision by the NCS committee. What a booming kick and what a pass by Lambert. Crysdale on the end, Rocha on the end of it. Guggenhauer looking for the hat trick. Wouldn't that been sweet for the junior? A hat trick to open up this new field, but not meant to be there. 35 minutes left to go here. Trojans in complete control. They have opened up this beautiful new field, beautiful new facilities in a wonderful way. Dion's has just been forced to clear it out, stay back, and hope for the best. And it worked for about 10 minutes, and I think the Trojans were surprised almost at the strategy and the lack of ball control. And they were excited, pumped up, put them almost on the back foot, but they adjusted very quickly. Apologize for any camera issues tonight. One-man crew here. Yeah, and you just see it there, and not Anza gets it. They just sort of push forward, no real thought put into it about where they're going from there. It was Anna Cardenas, the junior, who couldn't get anything going with it. Mentioned most of the teams in NCS. Ignacio Valley will face Drake in the quarterfinals. We know that. Top half of the draw, Annalee facing Encinal. The 16th seed as Sydney Dennis is broken free, and she could not score. Oh, she went down hard there. Aggressive play as both players come up shaky. Aggressive play by... can't get the number on that right now, but Dennis nearly had a goal there, forced out there, and both players collided. Mendoza came out to save it. She had a couple nice early saves, but hasn't been able to answer the call since then. Looked like it could be challenging for the Trojans to slot in the back of the net first 5-10 minutes, but after Guggenhauer broke one free, it's really opened up everything for them, and they've gained more confidence, and the floodgates have really opened up full throttle. Trojans are continuing to push, continuing to show great fight out there, even with a comfortable lead. They're going to need to bring this offensive effort, and they're going to need to make sure Clara Garcia's at her best, especially if they're going to face a strong Kennedy team in the next round. Potentially on the road Saturday night is that game scheduled for. That is crossed. Great defensive play there by Muganum. Anza just out of control. That shot missed by about 4 miles. Was closer to the Pacific Ocean than the goal. It actually did not go out. I think. Free goal kick. Or no, throw in. Way on the far other side of the field from me. Hard to see out there. It's a vast depth field. So beautifully woven, so it looks especially so poppin' from up above. Been able to get a good view as Rocha's somehow gone 2 miles past everyone. There's no one near her. Here comes a defender to provide some resistance. She collides in the box. She's down. Has there been a penalty awarded? And Coach Diamabala is furious. That looked like a penalty kick. But I don't think they're going to call it. Gosh, it was a big collision there. Rocha able to make it up. You hope she's okay. You worry about a concussion the way she just really was slammed into. But the refs have pretty much been non-existent in giving any calls tonight. Pretty much just allowed the players to play. And that sparked the ire, especially in a game that the Trojans are comfortably in front in. 10 minutes gone here in this half. Guggenauer wants that hat trick. Will stay Trojan ball. Mentioned this track, it really is quite springy, feels good, looks good as well. New numbers, new letters applied to it. Track team should be good, should be fun for their home meets this year. And then the football team next fall, we're going to be back live next year for all the varsity football home games here on our Trojan Live channel. Right from Mr. Brazil's patio, which is just above me from where I speak now in the visiting bleachers. Don't miss all of those games. It's going to be so much fun with this new field. You know the crowds are going to really come out. Should be an exciting football season in the new league. League realignment next year should be challenging, much more challenging for the girls soccer team. They're going from a good league to, I think, a great league next year in the Vine Valley League with the likes of Costa, Sonoma Valley, Vintage, Napa, American Canyon, Justin Siena as well. That pass a little too far. It will be Dion's the ball. You can see the home side still under construction there. Believe that will function as the ticket booth, that building right there. And then off to the side there is the bathrooms. Trojans, meanwhile, are getting another opportunity. Rocha has fallen to the ground once again. And it's Hazel battling. Trojan ball. Trojans continuing to fight, continuing to get great support from the stands here. It's a solid crowd, including students, families, supporters that have turned out for this historic evening. Meganum with these gets it back. Oh, Dennis had a great look at it. She was calling for it on the right side. Good to see Dennis, who's a really outstanding speedy player, but doesn't get a huge amount of playing time for the Trojans out there. Number 7 in those orange cleats. Guggenauer's battling. We'll have to talk to her after this fantastic game she's had. The 2 opening goals for the Trojans. Hasn't been too busy a night for the Trojan defense. But they have a look there. Clara Garcia, that's wonderful goalkeeping from Claudia Rubio Garcia. The exchange shooting out of Spade. She was confident there, came out, and made the save after a good run. A good run from Nadia Maldonado, who's been the main source of offense tonight for the Dons. Really had a pretty bad goal given up early by Rubio, but that was much better. Dennis with a good opportunity here. She's got the upper leverage. Oh, it just got away from her, and Mendoza comes out to save it. Smiling as she's able to make the save. She's fought valiant under constant duress from these Trojan attackers. Good to see, though, Clara Garcia with a save in the NCS playoffs. You know that's going to give her confidence for games coming up. She's gonna face some tougher shots. This defense can form walls and not let anybody get by. But there's no doubt against the likes of Kennedy. We've seen it against Annalee. She has to come up big if the Trojans are going to beat those teams. This certainly has to give them so much confidence, though. They mentioned they've had a couple struggles of late, giving up some goals, and tonight, especially the offensive output against an NCS team, has to be happy. Now it's Hazel that's broken free. She already has one. Oh, great save by Mendoza. It's still loose, and Mendoza just gets a finger on that. Hazel got to the rebound of it. Mendoza got up from the ground and made another save. Wonderful effort tonight from Gladius Mendoza. This is her final game, probably as a high school athlete tonight, and she is showing the spirit out there. They're actually going to rule it a goal kick. Has had another good run there, but they're going to rule it Anza ball. The refs have certainly been giving the benefit of the doubt to the Dons right now. I may be feeling a little pity for them. Trojan coaches aren't too happy about it. They want everyone to get confidence. This is important, even though they are going to cruise to victory here tonight. It is what has turned into a very chilly night. The wind has calmed down, but it is dipping down into the 30s here tonight. Winter California Soccer NCS playoffs. Obviously looking way ahead, but if the Trojans could win their quarterfinal game, the semifinal will be a week from Wednesday. The higher seed has the home game, and then the championship game a week from Saturday. The winner of that would head into the state tournament. So that's one reason that the Trojans SCL moved to the winter, is the state tournament was moved to the winter about 3 years back. So pretty much all the soccer leagues are in the winter. That ball has headed under the bleachers, right below me. Rocha will get to it. Trojans continuing to press here. Halfway through this second half, comfortably ahead. Last off on the Trojans, they're literally not calling fouls tonight. It's been sort of remarkable by the refs. Goggenauer ahead. Rocha was calling for it. She was open on the right wing. We couldn't imagine the start when he saw it about 90-10, the percentage of ball control, yet it has pretty much remained that for the Trojans. They have almost always kept it in their side, the Anza side of the half of the field. They got a good look there, a little too far. Monka, Goggenauer got a foot on that, still open for the hat trick. Falls into the hands of Mendoza. And just kicked out. Coronation tonight of this first ever game played on an artificial turf here at Petaluma High. Historic night at this new field. Lacrosse teams and track teams were able to practice on it starting on Monday. So this is not its first use, but the first game ever officially played on here. And so each now lacrosse teams will have a permanent practice home along with their games all spring long. As Rocha's getting another chance, and same with the track team. Again, it's Rocha past everybody. She still hasn't been able to score. And the moment isn't there either. I don't know how I can walk out of the stadium without seeing Melissa Rocha score, the way she's been out in front of everything, but a little bit too tall there. Recap on the Trojan season as we head towards the end of it. They're 14-5-2 overall in the season. 10-2-2 in league. They finish third in SCL, game and a half back of Sonoma Academy, 2 games back of Annalee. They open the season with their worst loss of the season. It's blown out 3-0 to Casa. I think that really woke them up. They had high expectations. A lot of returning players knew SCL was going to be weak, and they answered. Blew out LC Allen 8-0, Rancho Cotati 3-1, and all those first 2 games, along with their 2-1 victory over Cardinum in the championship game, were all part of a Ukiah tournament. They won that. And ever since then, they have certainly played with confidence in the knowing that they belong. Trojan ball there. They capped the next game off. They killed San Marin 5-0. They had that rough loss to Terra Linda 3-2, a game that they blew the lead in. This ball goes way up into the air, deflection by Herman, Anza ball. And then after a 2-0 victory over league foe next year, American Canyon, and they mentioned that game to Annalee. We were there, full game on our YouTube channel. Trojans controlled that game for 70 minutes, but only managed 1 goal, and Annalee brought a new level of intensity for the last 20 minutes of that game and scored twice to win 2-1. After that, the Trojans killed Pioneer 10-0 all over El Molino 5-2. Mentioned the thrilling victory over Sonoma Valley 1-0 in double overtime. Got that goal in double overtime to win it. And 6-1 over LC Allen, 10-0 over Healdsburg. One of the more impressive victories of their season, 2-0 over Sonoma Academy, a game that Sonoma Academy controlled for large portions, but the Trojans out-hustled and got the Coyotes tired in the second half and were able to score 2 goals both late there to pull away, and they really looked like they still had a good shot at the SCL title heading into the Annalee game, as Liz Monka is offsides there. Otherwise, she was going to have a good run. And not only that, but you'd had 5 out of the last 7 games have been shutouts by Clara Garcia. She was playing confident. She showed it in that game up at Sebastopol. We were there, full game on our YouTube channel. Had to be the most exciting game of their season, and yet no one scored, but both teams had great chances. The goalkeeping was brilliant on both sides. Bazzano, the goalkeeper of the Tigers, was brilliant as well. Tigers had an amazing push in double overtime, but somehow the Trojan defense, led by Tessa Lambert and Clara Garcia, made some outstanding saves, kept the Tigers out of the net. They salvaged a 0-0 draw up in Sebastopol, and they kept their SCL title hopes alive. And they needed it. They was out of control of their own destiny, but they knew that the Tigers did actually lose to Sonoma Academy later. Unfortunately, though, after a 5-3 victory over El Molino, a 2-2 draw to Sonoma Valley really ended those hopes. And then we were at their Sonoma Academy loss last week, a 2-1 loss where Trojans really had a bad drop of intensity in that second half, did not play very well. In that second half of that one, Sonoma Academy had a higher level, wanted it more, and they got a 2-1 victory that officially ended their SCL title hopes, and then finished off the last week a 7-0 victory over LC Allen. Mendoza's going to get to that one. And then 6-0 last Friday night against Healdsburg, and you can tell by the scores there's certainly 2 tiers in SCL between level of teams. Anza's done a little bit better job last couple minutes just controlling the ball, but really hasn't got any good movements forward. There's a steal there. Trojans have not allowed Petaluma to keep it at all. Unable to keep it in there was Rocha. And all those games we went through, that's led up to tonight here with the Trojans leading 4-1. We got about 10 minutes remaining in this second half. In this opener of Ellison Field, all those home games, so-called home games for the Trojans, were either played at Lucchese Field on the east side or the East Washington Fields, also on the east side. So you don't even have a true home, and that can be hard to deal with. But all their hard work, all their achievements, they get rewarded tonight with the first game here on this beautiful new field and new facilities. Fans got to check out for a huge NCS game, and the Trojans have delivered with a brilliant, sparkling offensive performance this evening, 4-1, dominant really everywhere. And they'll move on to the quarterfinals. If they are a higher seed in any of their matchups before the championship, they could have another game here. That pass a little bit too far, and Mendoza will get to it. Trojans have certainly slowed down their attack a little bit in these last couple of minutes. Oh, hard fall there by Crysdale. They finally call a foul. And Crysdale a little bit slow to get up. That one's going to hurt for the sophomore. Great job, though, to get up by Caroline Crysdale. Trojans tough it out. They've dealt with some injuries. We mentioned Barry, but about a lot of things they've been through this year, including no home field injuries, some tough blown losses, no seniors except for one who doesn't get a lot of playing time, and They've worked through all of it. Knocked down, it will stay Anza ball. All the Trojans captains, they're juniors, all returning from last year. Lambert, Barry, and Herman. It's about half their team, but so many underclassmen mentioned who've stepped up. Monka, who's had a big impact tonight. Obviously, the Rocha sisters talked to the varsity wrestling team about they're watching her and impressed with her speed. She is the fastest player on the field, almost always, and so hard to contain. And she has had issues with touch and just controlling that ball, but she's done a much better job tonight. Hasn't been able to score, but she's set up 2 of the goals for the Trojans this evening. And it really just been a constant source of stress on that right side. It can be a decoy, a bait, to help open up goals in other spots of the field. Offsides. That was Rocha again. And the Trojans called up, as we mentioned, a few JV players. All freshmen. Isabel Van Bieber. Van Bieber. Callie Sullivan. Sienna Berry. Anna Hospodar. Grace Yates. And Eleanor Burnett as well. Anza with a quick rush forward. No issue for Clara Garcia, who made that really nice save about 10 minutes ago, and you think that might have given her a little bit of confidence because she certainly was not very confident looking that first half, including giving up that first half goal that was opened up this field. First goal ever scored here at Ellison Field by Anza. Monka is broken free, but she just couldn't control it enough. It got a little too far away from her, and Mendoza was able to come out and make. Just had another good run there, but they're going to rule it Anza ball. The refs have certainly been giving the benefit of the doubt to the Dons right now. I may be feeling a little pity for them. Trojan coaches aren't too happy about it. They want everyone to get confidence. This is important, even though they are going to cruise to victory here tonight. It is what has turned into a very chilly night. The wind has calmed down, but it is dipping down into the 30s here tonight. Winter California Soccer NCS playoffs. Obviously looking way ahead, but if the Trojans could win their quarterfinal game, the semifinal will be a week from Wednesday. The higher seed has the home game, and then the championship game a week from Saturday. The winner of that would head into the state tournament. So that's one reason that Trojans SCL moved to the winter, is the state tournament was moved to the winter about 3 years back. So pretty much all the soccer leagues are in the winter. That ball has headed under the bleachers, right below me. Rocha, we'll get to it. Trojans continuing to press here. Halfway through this second half, comfortably ahead. Last stuff on the Trojans, they're literally not calling fouls tonight. It's been sort of remarkable by the refs. Goggenauer ahead. Rocha was calling for it. She was open on the right wing. We couldn't imagine the start when you saw it about 90-10, the percentage of ball control, yet it has pretty much remained that for the Trojans. They have almost always kept it in their side, the Anza side of the half of the field. They got a good look there, a little too far. Monka, Goggenauer got a foot on that, still open for the hat trick. Falls into the hands of Mendoza. And just kicked out. Coronation tonight of this first ever game played on an artificial turf here at Petaluma High. Historic night at this new field. Lacrosse teams and track teams were able to practice on it starting on Monday. So this is not its first use, but the first game ever officially played on here. And so each now lacrosse teams will have a permanent practice home along with their games all spring long. As Rocha's getting another chance, and same with the track team. Again, it's Rocha past everybody. She still hasn't been able to score. And the moment isn't there either. I don't know how I can walk out of the stadium without seeing Melissa Rocha score the way she's been out in front of everything, but a little bit too tall there. Recap on the Trojan season as we head towards the end of it. They're 14-5-2 overall in the season, 10-2-2 in league. They finish third in SCL, game and a half back of Sonoma Academy, 2 games back of Annalee. They open the season with their worst loss of the season. It's blown out 3-0 to Casa. I think that really woke them up. They had high expectations. A lot of returning players knew SCL was going to be weak, and they answered. Blew out LC Allen 8-0, Rancho Cotati 3-1, and all those first 2 games, along with their 2-1 victory over Cardinum in the championship game, were all part of a Ukiah tournament. They won that. And ever since then, they have certainly played with confidence in the knowing that they belong. Trojan ball there. They capped the next game off. They killed San Marin 5-0. They had that rough loss to Terra Linda 3-2, a game that they blew the lead in. This ball goes way up into the air. Deflection by Herman. Anza ball. And then after a 2-0 victory over league foe next year, American Canyon, and they mentioned that game to Annalee. We were there, full game on our YouTube channel. Trojans controlled that game for 70 minutes, but only managed 1 goal, and Annalee brought a new level of intensity for the last 20 minutes of that game and scored twice to win 2-1. After that, the Trojans killed Pioneer 10-0 all over El Molino 5-2. Mentioned the thrilling victory over Sonoma Valley 1-0 in double overtime. Got that goal in double overtime to win it. And 6-1 over LC Allen, 10-0 over Healdsburg. One of the more impressive victories of their season, 2-0 over Sonoma Academy. A game that Sonoma Academy controlled for large portions, but the Trojans out-hustled and got the Coyotes tired in the second half and were able to score 2 goals both late there to pull away. And they really look like they still had a good shot at the SCL title heading into the Annalee game, as Liz Monca is offsides there. Otherwise, she was going to have a good run. And not only that, but you'd had 5 out of the last 7 games have been shutouts by Clara Garcia. She was playing confident. She showed it in that game up at Sebastopol. We were there, full game on our YouTube channel. Had to be the most exciting game of their season, and yet no one scored, but both teams had great chances. The goalkeeping was brilliant on both sides. Bazzano, the goalkeeper of the Tigers, was brilliant as well. Tigers had an amazing push in double overtime, but somehow the Trojan defense, led by Tessa Lambert and Clara Garcia, made some outstanding saves, kept the Tigers out of the net. They salvaged a 0-0 draw up in Sebastopol, and they kept their SCL title hopes alive. And they needed it. They was out of control of their own destiny, but they knew that the Tigers did actually lose to Sonoma Academy later. Unfortunately, though, after a 5-3 victory over El Molino, a 2-2 draw to Sonoma Valley really ended those hopes. And then we were at their Sonoma Academy loss last week, a 2-1 loss where Trojans really had a bad drop of intensity in that second half, did not play very well. In that second half of that one, Sonoma Academy had a higher level, wanted it more, and they got a 2-1 victory that officially ended their SCL title hopes, and then finished off the last week a 7-0 victory over LC Allen. Mendoza's going to get to that one. And then 6-0 last Friday night against Healdsburg. And you can tell by the scores, there's certainly 2 tiers in SCL between level of teams. Anza's done a little bit better job last couple minutes just controlling the ball, but really hasn't got any good movements forward. There's a steal there. Trojans have not allowed Petaluma to keep it at all. Unable to keep it in there was Rocha. And all those games we went through, that's led up to tonight here with the Trojans leading 4-1. We got about 10 minutes remaining in this second half. In this opener of Ellison Field, all those home games, so-called home games for the Trojans, were either played at Lucchese Field on the east side or the East Washington Fields, also on the east side. So you don't even have a true home, and that can be hard to deal with. But all their hard work, all their achievements, they get rewarded tonight with the first game here on this beautiful new field and new facilities fans got to check out for a huge NCS game, and the Trojans have delivered with a brilliant, sparkling offensive performance this evening, 4-1, dominant really everywhere. And they'll move on to the quarterfinals. If they are a higher seed in any of their matchups before the championship, they could have another game here. That pass a little bit too far, and Mendoza will get to it. Trojans have certainly slowed down their attack a little bit in these last couple of minutes. Oh, hard fall there by Crysdale. They finally call a foul. And Crysdale a little bit slow to get up. That one's going to hurt for the sophomore. The save. Goal kick, though, heads out. Stay tuned after the game. We're going to talk to the stars of the game and what a special night it was for all of them. Oh, my goodness. Liz Monka. I have no words for that. Unbelievable from the freshman Liz Monka. You're not a freshman when you play like that. Wow. The steal there. Anza not even expecting it. And then slotting it away with the alertness of an open goal. No panic. Right in the right corner, right down the middle. And a memorable goal, no doubt, for her in the NCS playoffs to officially make the route on 5-1. What a great defense to offensive play by Monka. That might be the best goal of the night, though certainly Guggenhauer's second goal was a magician curving wonder goal. And the Trojans have had some other great opportunities in that first half. A couple posts it. They could have this even bigger. The score really doesn't indicate how dominant this is. They've put up a 10th spot against a couple teams this year. This easily could have been that high. That's how much they've dominated this game. Trojans have just looked like they're on a different level. They have certainly brought the intensity and the effort, which has been big, something I think they've lacked at points and been a little disappointed in their play, gone away at points, and it's easy to do. It's a long 80 minutes of soccer. Can get slow, but they have not looked slow or bored tonight, and it's the NCS playoffs. You can't be, can you? It's win and go home. Oh, so unselfish from Guggenhauer to pass it up. Rocha's alone. Over the keeper, and then she's finally done it. Chance after chance. She gave it up to teammates. Now she gets to celebrate. Good to see from Melissa Rocha. It is 6-1, and Guggenhauer unselfish as well there. She'll add an assist to her 2-goal night. Rocha again past all the defense. Finally a good angle. Able to draw Mendoza out and finish up over top of her. All Petaluma on this new field is certainly fed out well. Some new Trojans will enter. Monka, who just scored, will get a rest. Trojans will see Starkey re-enter. They also get Grevin. Miranda Grevin will get some playing time as well. Good to see. Especially in the NCS playoffs, something you can always say you played in it and obviously give you more confidence for next year, but it's going to be tight playing time for the Trojans next year as well. Good luck to the freshmen who were just called up. I don't know if there'll be room for them on the team. You pretty much get everyone back, but the Trojans will be looking for a goalkeeper, but they're not worried for next year. Does Rocha have two? She's again got past everyone. Oh, she can't believe it. She just totally had way too much on that. She had so much time in the world there. Anza has just had no answer. She was completely alone there by a good 10 feet, and I think she had too much time there. Mendoza just waited. She didn't want to come out and give her the easy goal. And Rocha unable to finish. Something she will continue to work on and improve. She's only a sophomore. She's going to be here for a while. And be something special to this program that is developing into close to a powerhouse the way they've shown off tonight. And we'll certainly learn a lot more about how good they really are in their NCS matches to come. They're going to have more experienced teams. They're going to be more talented teams like Annalee, but they know they can play with those teams. They've proven it this year. And defensively, I mean, we haven't talked a lot about it because they haven't had to play much defense, but that back end has been so good this year for the majority. It's had some weaknesses the last couple games, but normally they just don't make mistakes. They are smart back there. They clear it away. Lambert, Buchanan, really brilliant back there, and it helps when you have a goalkeeper most of the time that you can trust in Clara Garcia. And a lot of steals as well. That's going to always help out the offense. Guggenhauer ahead. Grevin trying to get there a little bit too far. Pass to Mendoza. Trojans continuing to battle with Delaney Johnson. We're just a few minutes away, maybe even less, from the final whistle here. Scoreboard not in operation because you can only operate it from the home side, which is still closed, under construction. Also finishing up the long jump on the other side of the bleachers. The high jump has been relocated to out by the baseball field, so it allows all the jumps to be together. I know head coach Doug Johnson of the track team was really happy about that. And it really makes it more organized. Wonderful spin move by Johnson, and the shot deflects. Guggenhauer was again looking for the hat trick, but they'll get a corner instead. What a game for Guggenhauer. And that is going to do it. Her night is over. She deserves some applause, and she's going to get it. The star of the night. Things got tense when the Trojans trailed 1-0, and Guggenhauer was the spark to turn it around. 2 early goals, added assist. What a game she has. She gets a hug from Captain Kendra Berry to celebrate a victory here. And the first game at Ellison Field, oh, it's a beautiful goal by Amanda Rocha. Melissa scored before. Amanda Rocha with the header. That might be, I'm not positive, but it probably is her first varsity soccer goal. She's a defender. You don't get that glory. But boy, she's got a pretty strong header. It was a perfect corner kick into traffic, and she bullied it away into the net with a ferocious header. No chance for Mendoza. Make it 7-1. We're going to start to lose count pretty soon if they don't blow the whistle. They've continued to push, continue to show great effort. Saturday, we will be at, as that one is scored. Anza's just scored. Saturday, we will be at the Varsity Wrestling Tournament up in Healdsburg. You mentioned the interviews. Anza's just scored. I didn't get the number. It was a little bit sudden there. They rushed down the field, but they finally got some numbers for it, and an odd angle. Unfortunate that Clara Garcia has to allow one, but not really her fault there. That was a nice shot. Good battle by Anza to plate one. Makes it 7-2. More substitutions. Roach's night is over. Dennis will re-enter. So we're just minutes away from the final whistle here. And Varsity Wrestling Team looking to defend their SCL title from last year. They already went undefeated in SCL. They're also looking to win weight classes and very high expectations for a lot of them. We talked with Connor Pedersen. He's hoping to potentially maybe make it to state this year at his individual weight class. And boys, the wrestling team developed a powerhouse. Our next live stream, though, will be Friday night from Santa Rosa Junior College Hale Pavilion, and we're really looking forward to it as Anza's got another run here and cleared by Lambert. Good pressure here by Anza. They've finally gotten something going way too late and way too little. And we're able to get a goal for their efforts. Trying to get a little bit of a push here. You wonder how they were not able to develop this earlier, but certainly I think the Trojans are ready to let this night come to a close. It is certainly cold out there as well. Our next live stream we're mentioning at Hale Pavilion at the SRJC is Monka's night is over. What a goal Hannah Herman's night is over. She had a goal, the captain. And the varsity girls basketball team will undefeated SCL champions. They will look to defeat Sonoma Valley and raise an SCL tournament championship trophy. Get the sweep, undefeated SCL, and then win the league tournament. They defeated Annalee last night, blew out the Tigers, an impressive showing in the semifinal. That game was live on our YouTube channel. You can check it out with full coverage there. And after that, they'll head into NCS next week. Next Tuesday night, they should very likely be at home, courtesy of the league champions, and we'll be live 7:30 for that one as well. Their first NCS appearance since 2013. That is going to be lots of fun, and it could be against league rival Casa Grande. So definitely do not miss out on all of that coming up. All the wrestling will not be live, but we'll have that all the matches, all the coverage on our YouTube channel by the end of Saturday night, likely, or Sunday morning. A lot of excitement as winter sports wind down. Spring sports starting up. Officially kicks off tomorrow with the boys tennis team heading up to Maria Carrillo for one of their toughest matches of the season up in Santa Rosa. And then next week, the lacrosse teams get started with a couple matches. The baseball team as well, which very high expectations for them. And a couple renovations made to the baseball fields as well. With the behind the baseball field, you can see over there, that is where the high jump will be. Used to just be a lot. And then they redid the fence right there. Helped out with the track behind it as Tessa Lambert's night is over. What a game Lambert had tonight defensively. There was no opportunities for Anza to develop anything. They could not control the ball. And Lambert really the leader there, controlling the defense, making the whole unit work as one. Can't be an individual player, especially on the defensive end. You have to work as one team and become one as four. As odd as that sounds. Buchanan, one of them, clearing it away. Anza with a little bit of press as they will finish their season. Trojans will move to 15-5-2 overall. So they try to get to Grevin, just too far for the junior. Anza will fall to 12-7-1 to end their season. They do get to be league champions, something the Trojans could not get this year. We'll see next year in the new Vine Valley League. So much excitement, Trojan athletics. You got the new field now, the new league next year, and so many teams that have really been rising and trending in the right direction. Final whistle should be coming any moment now, with the Trojans up 7-2. And we'll certainly have tomorrow on our morning show. Who will they play on Saturday? Likely Saturday night. Will it be Kennedy, the 3 seed out of Fremont? They'd have to make the long drive down to Fremont. It's about 2 hours, but on a Saturday with traffic, that might be 3 hours and a headache. But it is a 3-day weekend, so I don't too worried about time commitment, and won't be easy against a very strong Kennedy team. Sydney Dennis is looking for a goal here. She's gone free. If there's not a foul there, okay, there is a foul there. I'll say if there's not a foul there, then I'm a Casa Grande fan. And I'm most definitely not, and there is a foul there. One of the few they've called today. The refs have kept their whistles in their pockets. I think they want to go home as soon as possible. The way it has cooled down here, has to be dipping into the 30s, and it is plummeted. Actually, they ruled the foul the other way, but there certainly was a foul, no doubt. An aggressive play as both players fell down hard. Anza will make some substitutions. Trojans will continue. They're getting some of those players that we mentioned called up from JV, some special experience to play on this new field and get that experience. And How about this? Clara Garcia's night is over. Nicolette Starkey is going to step into the goalkeeper spot. Get on those gloves. And maybe she'll be in that spot next year. I don't know. Or it might just be fun in saying I played goalkeeper in an NCS varsity girls soccer game. Either way, she's going to put on the mitts. Dennis's night is over as well. I know she's bleeding, actually, so they're going to take a look at her. Meanwhile, the goal kick after the foul in that beautiful purple end zone. And it was really fun. They started in July on this field, and you saw them build it all up. As we do have a another JV player entering in Isabella Van Bieber. And what a great move here by Crysdale to get forward, the sophomore. She's still trying to develop, still trying to add on to that lead. Trojan ball. Got to see the field move up, got to right from Mr. Brazil's classroom, which sits right on top of this field every other day. You for his chemistry class get to walk in and see the field develop. And they really work so hard, so diligently. You got to see them laying out the strips. Trojans in one end zone and Petaluma in the other. Saw the purple field, and they have coordinated it perfectly tonight. The varsity girls soccer team is on to the NCS quarterfinals with a dominating, offensively scintillating 7-2 victory here at Ellison Field. Trojans allowed the first goal 1-0. Things got tense. Francis Goggenauer had some moments of brilliance. And from there, the route was on. The Trojans completely controlled possession the entire game and really controlled all facets of the game. And they were able to finish. They were truly brilliant out there, and a nice crowd saw history made tonight here in this first game from this special field. And the Trojans move on after a great season. Interviews are coming up next.
Trojans are celebrating their victory here tonight with all their supporters who came out in full support, now surrounding me with their signs. They're very happy for the 7-2 victory. We're getting taken over. Guys have to be pretty happy with the game tonight, don't you?
Yeah, we're pretty happy. It's only take dubs. Only take dubs.
How far do you think this team can go in NCS?
State.
We're going to Worlds.
World? I don't think it's a thing.
It is.
All right, we should probably quiet down a little bit as they're talking right now. Team will move on to the quarterfinals on Saturday, likely against Kennedy in Fremont. It will be a big challenge. You get in the frame, Daniel. But tonight, they coronate this beautiful field with a victory, which was coronate this victory here tonight, coronate the field here tonight with a victory, and it couldn't have been sweeter the way they were so dominant for fractions of this game, especially in that first half. It was so exciting. Constant opportunities and chances. It was a lot of fun to see, and people like Connor, I know, enjoyed coming out here and cheering on, and very loud, especially on this cold night. Francis Goggenauer is going to make her way over in just a moment. We're here with Francis Goggenauer after you had the first two goals here in this victory, and both goals were really spectacular. Take us through both, especially I thought that second one. Take us through both of them, though.
Well, I think the second one was off of a corner, and I had a lot of space and time in most of the game, actually. And, I was just trying to find some open space, and I did, and went for it.
This team was totally dominant. You guys really throttled Anza, had complete control of the game. How were you able to do that against a team that was seeded 11th in NCS?
I think we just really wanted to win. We were kind of disappointed from our losses over the season. We lost some games that were really unfortunate, but I think we were just really motivated and we came out a lot stronger, and that really worked for us. We connected really well.
How key were your two goals after Anza had scored the first one and sort of a surprising goal? You guys had a lot of energy here in this big game, and then suddenly they score the goal. How do you think that really helped turn around the game and open up the floodgates the other way?
That definitely motivated us. It for sure wasn't because they were the better team. It was just kind of weird bounces, and I think we knew that we could get the goals, and it was just about execution and good balls, and it happened.
And finally, you guys get to play for the first time on this new field. It's the first game ever on this newly renovated field. What was that experience like, and what did that mean to you guys?
It was so great. It really brought back, like some old memories from previous years and just like playing good games. But the field's amazing. I love it. It was really good.
Thank you guys so much. Head coach Deegan Babal of the Varsity Girls soccer team, after you guys get a dominating 7-2 victory, you guys were completely dominant in all facets of the game. How are you guys able to do it against a Anza team that won their league?
Yeah, we kind of knew going into this that we were seeded a little bit higher. So, and coming out here playing on the new field for the first time, it was one of those where, we could make the game about the opponent, or we can make it about ourselves and having a good time and just being excited to come out and play. So, we just talked ourselves up and said, we're going to come out, play our game, and if we do our job, then we should, have a comfortable win, and that's kind of what happened. So.
How special was it for the team after all they've gone through this year, but having to play with no true home, finally get a home game here to open up this brand new field?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, a lot of the girls have, played club on, at Lucchese and East Washington, where we've had, all of our home games. But, there was always kind of this, hope in the back of our minds, maybe towards the end of the season we'll get a chance out here. And so when we finally heard, it's going to happen, we were just really stoked to come out here. So we had practice out here yesterday and just kind of took it all in. And then tonight under the lights, it's, you can't really beat it, so.
NCS continues. You got some much more challenging teams coming up in the quarterfinals, potentially Kennedy in the next round. How much confidence do you think this gives the team tonight, and what are you looking to achieve going forward?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, it's a big win, and we played really well, so we take a lot of confidence out of just our own performance. Kennedy's, I'm sure, a strong team, but, when you look at all the teams at our division, they're all good teams, and Annalee was seeded number 1, and Annalee's a team we tied, and we probably could have beat them the first time we played them. So I think it's really anyone's competition, and whoever shows up on the day is going to be the winning team. So I'm confident, and as long as we're focused and ready to go, then it should be a good match.
Thank you so much, Coach. Congratulations on the victory.
Thanks.
With head coach Deegan Babal after the Trojans get a dominant 7-2 victory over Anza in the first round of the NCS playoffs here. The first game, it was a historic moment here at Steve Ellison Field. The only one left now, echoing. It's beautiful in the day. It's beautiful at night. It's really a perfect facility, and they've made it ADA approved, new lighting. There's so many things that they've done to improve all of it. It's going to be so key to all the sporting events for making it so wonderful, and it was helpful tonight. And so I think a huge motivating factor for the team, who showed it. They played with a wonderful high level of intensity throughout, and as Coach Babal in a very good mood after they were offensively really spectacular in this one. And as he said, it's anyone's game going forward for them. All the teams are going to be good going forward. They're not going to get anything this easy, but they can play with anyone in NCS. Who knows how far they can go if they play this confident. Their defense is locked down like tonight, and they are scoring and finishing. We will see. Trojans get the 7-2 victory tonight. You can check out this full game, interviews, all right here on our YouTube channel, plus all of our other Varsity Girls soccer coverage as the Varsity Girls soccer team moves into the quarterfinals of NCS. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Griffin Epstein. Good night from Steve Ellison Field.